This is, I've heard you say it.
The arguments put forth. Okay, here's the argument, right? Go ahead. Our computing power is growing, right? We create simulations of work. You have people that is so. Right? Imagine a day where you can simulate a world so perfect.
Every time one person
so well
chooses
that you can
a new way to respond to the challenges of life, each time an individual chooses a new option,
so including
that person becomes a
there you
living
go.
bridge
So now
for
we have
all the
enough
others
computing
who
power
choose to follow
To
that
imbue
person's
the
path.
sims inside of the program with all of the human traits that we possess now.
Correct.
Not only have we trained out of the you should need enough of the world to theoretical conditions. So you want to start thinking there's a slide that goes up. It says up needs more earth. It's separate, right? Earth beneath you while you keep there.
Like Minecraft. I always tell you, Jason. Just like Minecraft.
Maybe that's why we can't travel faster than the speed of light. Because if we could, we'd be able to get to another galaxy and they can program it.
Oh!
So much fun. So the programmers put in that limit, but it's not a way. We can't program it. So we put in a limiter. The speed of light is a limiter so that you can't get to the next thing before we build it. All right, so let me finish. That's good. That's good. All right, let me finish. So now that evolved, and they developed computing. Right? They say, so far, it sounds like it's still working. So now, the first one was real, more than a gazillion better. Yeah, just, okay, and I think it will work like this. It's because then you can out to everything. There's some amazing statistics. Simulate themselves exactly. Do we have that power now?
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
Which means that we can't send it in. We can't send ourselves into the future as a simulation. So we can't continue the chain.
Wait, so we are the real one, right? Or we're the one in the chain that's still evolving.
Yep.
To try to then make a simulation. So the odds of us being a simulation goes from a gazillion to one. I mean, to night. That changed my life. Okay? And no longer are your kids gonna say, Dad, it doesn't matter when it's simulation anyway. Maybe these simulators have a side
You see this complex related world, and you realize that it all hangs together.
that would be us. Classic gameplay. So maybe we're just entertainment, like putting Star Explorer. That's possible. However, let's look at our own conduct with that regard. I think of a movie as a simulation for the sake of what's the kind of how many movies have been made in time
You were thoroughly instructed. You were elected.
and they might have some historical but there's plenty of interesting things and stories to tell if you make any simulation focuses on it. So even if there are some still most of these would be universes made after big simulations. Like our movie decade happens in communication. So chances are we're not a little off. Like a little statistic. Statistic thing, it's not like because they could be the ones today that are in the era of the time they can simulate.
So that brings us back to the problem. First, we're on our way. So no simulation.
You recognize you.
There you go.
Basic assumptions about the universe, like faults, humanity could very well be living in a collective hallucination inside a holographic substrate. It's a virtual training program. Are these assertions scientifically tested? These are universe, a simulation.
In 2016,
In fact, that's what you're the subject.
Supreme Court Justice would summon Brudge. They're going
In this experiment,
beta.
your brain has long been removed from your
One
body.
point.
That means that means
This is it. We
We're
are
on the
in
laboratory
the
then.
new order. We have crossed the line.
You have no way of
Right now.
knowing the difference.
Mark the date.
Imagine that right now. You're making an elaborate fabrication of unknown superior intelligence.
The flat Earth society is controlled by nobody that's in flat Earth.
Okay.
From everything you see to everything you touch. This is a famous thought experiment by the philosopher Gilbert Farley.
I'm asking you a real hard
question. All of reality could just be a fantasy, a prison created by our own thoughts. So how can we ever prove or disprove that there's an objective reality? There's a good chance that we've heard this assertion before.
I'm kind of retarded.
It's called the simulation hypothesis. And I'm not the first one to talk about it. However, I will give some very unusual arguments.
here.
In an interview at Code Conference, billionaire entrepreneur Elon Musk became forced to seriously consider the possibility that we're living in a simulation.
1.0.
Scientific research to determine if it's true. On the downside, the simulation hypothesis is often considered a circular argument.
We are
Since we can't confirm anything outside of our senses using our senses. You'd be very surprised at the many ways philosophers and scientists have tried to get around this problem. First of all, let's not make the common mistake of assuming that the simulation hypothesis is a self-annihilating philosophy.
Just pick up the...
One might be asked that if everything is an illusion, then why would you bother arguing with the illusion? Which is to say, you don't even believe in your own arguments. However, if you consider the possibility that others could be sharing the simulation with you, then there actually are some reasons for discussing the simulation hypothesis. It goes all the way back to a philosophical idea of solipsism, widely popularized by the philosopher René Descartes, stating that everything in the universe is just an illusion, all created by man.
Flamethrower to light the next joint.
Good reason our way out of this.
I'll take a pull of tobacco, but no, seriously. When it comes to regular tobacco with no marijuana at all, would you like some? Yes.
But don't get it confused with the simulation hypothesis. The simulation hypothesis is just skepticism of reality, which can take many different forms. But the simulation argument is a very specific solution to this problem, created by all university professors.
identified with that
Something like this.
Elon Musk thinks it's almost certain that we are living in a computer simulation.
There's a 1 billion chance that this is reality.
He says that humans are basically some advanced version of a but we shouldn't just say it off. People used to think the solar system worked like this, but almost 2,000 years before Galileo proved that it didn't, some of us crazy idea. Reality is probably not the usual way. Musk is arguing a paper specifically about his argument is
40 years ago, we had palm, like 2 rectangles and a dot.
30 years after that, the Sims.
Now, 40 years later, we have photorealistic 3D simulations with millions of people playing simultaneously, and it's getting better every year.
So let's go about 10,000 years into the future. It's possible that when we get there, civilization will be entirely gone because there is a ceiling with advancement. Maybe because of global warming, or robots.
If civilization stops at that's due to some 1% that erases civilization.
But another possibility is that we keep advancing and assuming that the physical world can be simulated. Eventually, we'll simulate ourselves. Every synapse in the entire whole brain for everyone. Getting enough computing power to run billions of ancestor simulations could be a problem, but most of things we'd send tiny self-replicating robots to other planets, which would turn the planet into a huge computer, and some of the simulations would start making their own simulations. In this scenario, there are billions of universes that are indistinguishable from robots. That means that chances are we are in one of the simulations. Other possible languages in that human civilization has a nebulous theory. Elon Musk invented a whole simulation.
Some of them reporting that they'd seen Martians landing in their backyard.
There is a real possibility. Maybe future humans just don't worry about ancestor simulations. Maybe they think it's a symbol, because there is a tremendous amount of suffering, and suffering still can be accessible to humans. Maybe they haven't lived through that. So to remember, there are three possibilities. 1. Humans go extinct when we're able to run these simulations. 2. Humans run simulations because it's what we're born. Number 3. We are living in simulation. Elon Musk thinks that there's only a tiny chance we are in simulated reality. The philosopher Descartes thinks it's hard to simulation. But if we're not keeping the most important argument provides otherwise. He says, it suggests that natural technology is in other words, we're living in a simulation. There is a hierarchy. It's the same us. This leads to a rapid which is why you have to solve rules about when you become serious.
seen Martians landing in their backyard.
Or the countless simulations, dark simulations that unfolded in profit.
I could say, for example, that a character,
I'm Jake and we are living... A portion of this video was sponsored by Norton 360. Classical leap. I mean, no longer is the universe deterministic. This made a lot of scientists, especially Einstein, uncomfortable. But the Born...
Well, maybe we're in a simulation right now.
So, what we have then is the system of...
Hey, Vsauce, Michael here. Where?
And at the point where you are involved, you can't stand aside from yourself and look at it objectively in the same way that we look at
The desire to be free from the limits of the human experience is as old as our first stories. We exist in an endless universe, only bound by the laws of physics, and yet our consciousness is trapped in mortal machines made of meat. With the breathtaking explosion of innovation and progress, for the first time, the concept of leaving our flesh piles behind and uploading our minds into a digital utopia seems possible, even at the logical next step on our evolutionary ladder. Mind uploading and digital immortality are some of the core themes of the game Cyberpunk 2077. It's a rich dystopian future where humanity has progressed far beyond today's technology and explored what this could mean for humanity. About a year ago, CD Projekt Red asked us if we would like to make a video about some of these ideas, and we were immediately on board. So, let's explore this topic together. Is it possible to upload your mind into a computer? Well, it's complicated.
that which our own life receives in its total context. That is to say...
Upload what exactly?
To...
Mind is one of those words that are really hard to define.
That yourself...
It's thought to be the collective abilities of your consciousness and intelligence, the thing that lets you imagine, recognize, and dream. Mind uploading is the hypothetical concept of making a copy of this inner world and transferring it into a computer to run a simulation of your consciousness. But even defining the premise gets really hard, really fast. The possibility of mind uploading is based on 3 assumptions. Assumption 1, your mind is in your brain's structure, arrangement, and biochemistry. The idea that everything about the mind can be found in the brain is called physical and our discussion within the domain of neurology. Assumption 2, at some point we will understand the brain well enough and possess the technology to simulate all its aspects to make a digital mind copy. Assumption 3, computer software can host your mind. The mind is computable. There is no physical property in the brain, including consciousness, that cannot be simulated accurately, even if it requires a lot of time. All of these assumptions were proposed by scientists and philosophers, and they remain the subject of passionate debate. With so many fundamental questions still unanswered, it's hard to discuss the topic better than someone. Whatever your position, the discussion of mind upload has to begin with the brain. The brain in a nutshell. The brain is the most complex biological structure known and deserves its own entire video. communicating via 1 million billion connections and sending signals up to 1,000 times each second, which is 1 quadrillion events every second of your waking life. And it's not just neurons, there are billions of supporting and immune cells of various types performing different jobs. On a macro level, the brain can be divided into sections with different roles, from breathing and heart rate to coordinating movement and involuntary reflexes. The most developed parts, the neocortex, or the outermost layer of the brain, hold memories, our ability to plan, think and imagine, hope and dream. Where exactly the U part of the brain is situated is not entirely clear. We know that areas like the precuneus cortex have the greatest influence on our consciousness, but also that several areas can network together to share tasks none of them can do alone. The brain's building blocks are not exactly simple either. Neurons are not just wires, they alter and process information. Synapses, where signals are handed over from one neuron to the next, contain receptors for hundreds of chemical signals, opening them up to outside influence. Work, and we can accurately predict their behavior at small scales, but there's a lot more to the brain than just nerve signals. Hormones play a huge role, like serotonin, which affects our mood, or histamine, which helps us learn. The brain is influenced by our other parts too, from heart nerves to gut bacteria. What seemed like a very complicated system to begin with gets even more complicated the more we learn about it. To get this wild, interconnected mess of cells and meat and chemicals into a computer, we need a model that we can simulate in our digital world. Some sort of scan. Unfortunately, our scanning technology, like fMRI machines, is not really good enough to detect such a thing. But there is a different method that seems very promising. Cutting a brain into tiny slices and scanning them with a high-resolution electron microscope to create an accurate map of all the cells and connections. In 2019, scientists successfully mapped a millimeter microscope after the size of a paper of sand. It contained 100,000 neurons, with a billion synapses, and 4 kilometers of nerve fibers. This grain of brain was cut into 25,000 slices. 5 electron microscopes ran continuously for 5 months, collecting more than 100 million images. It took 3 months to assemble the images into a 3D model. The completed dataset fills up 2 million gigabytes of cloud storage. To scan a whole human brain, we would have to repeat this effort 1 million times, which is much easier said than done. Even worse, to correctly simulate a brain, we might even have to map out much smaller building blocks to include the billions of underlying proteins or even individual molecules that cause all the behaviors we see at the cellular level, which might produce more data than the capacity of all data storage on Earth. Brain water to consciousness wine. While all of these issues are annoying, the real question is how to turn the static blueprint of the brain into an active thing. Even if we understand it down to the level of synapses, we need laws and rules that animate the wiring diagram. Consciousness is perhaps the biggest riddle in nature. Stripped to its core meaning, consciousness is what allows us to be aware both of our surroundings and of our own inner state. But thinking about consciousness has this habit of taking us round in circles. We all intuitively know what consciousness is. It's this. It's what you're experiencing here, right now. But once we try to pinpoint just what exactly it is, it leaves us grasping at thin air. And not just us. Philosophers and scientists struggle to define consciousness. Different schools and ideas compete with one another, but no one has come close to figuring it out. It's unsettling to realize that we don't understand what makes us aware of ourselves and the world. In this fuzzy area, consciousness and intelligence are also related, although they are not the same. We'll talk in greater depth about theories of consciousness and intelligence in other videos. Like much of what makes us human, our consciousness is likely to have evolved from less complex forms as a product of evolution by natural selection. It has probably emerged from an immense several hundred million sequence of countless microsteps
video,
that make up a
like, subscribe.
of consciousness. What was the first step on this path from the non-conscious to the basic consciousness that ultimately led to the convoluted
thing I put together with different stuff.
Today? To do so, it needs energy, producing an automatic response to an external stimulus, but that its actions depend upon its inner physiological state. Whether it's hungry, the desire to be free from the limits of the human experience is as old as our first stories. We exist in an endless universe, only bound by the laws of physics, and yet our consciousness is trapped in mortal machines made of meat. With the breathtaking explosion of innovation and progress, for the first time, the concept of leaving our flesh paths behind and uploading our minds into a digital utopia seems possible, even like the logical next step on our evolutionary ladder. Mind uploading and digital immortality are some of the core themes of the game Cyberpunk 2077. It plays in a grim dystopian future where humanity has progressed far beyond today's technology and explores what this could mean for humanity. About a year ago, CD Projekt Red asked us if we would make a video about some of these ideas, and we were immediately on board. So, let's explore this topic together.